Hi everybody, welcome to third grade. I'm so happy you guys are all here today, and I'm happy to be here too. So let me tell you a little bit about myself, and then after this morning meeting, I want to know a little bit about you. What we're doing now is called a morning meeting, and we will do this every morning, no matter what. Even if we have a field trip, we'll figure out a way to do a morning meeting. And in our morning meeting, we'll review the rules that we came up with together here today. We'll answer any questions you have, and we will go over the schedule. So this is something you can always count on. So a little bit about me. My name is Miss Emily or Miss Lawrence. Either one is fine. It's also okay if you just want to call me Emily. But we do have to remember that this is a professional setting, and I'll bring that word up a lot throughout our time together. Behaviors that are appropriate for a professional, or in our case, school setting. Now, something else about me is that let's see, what would be interesting to you? Well, my favorite animal is definitely an octopus, and you'll see that when we get to science and start learning about adaptations and all of that. I'm very interested in the octopus. Let's see, this is my 4th year teaching 3rd grade, so that's one other thing about me. Let's see. This is your 1st year in 3rd grade, so we're not that far off from each other. And I have a dog named Baxter. He'll probably come in once this year. Some of you may know my uncle, Mr. John Lawrence, who teaches 4th grade. So that's something to look forward to, and I'll get you ready for his class. Anything else you want to know about me? I'm what they call an open book, which means that you can talk to me really about anything, but you'll see as time goes on. Let's talk about how the classroom is set up. So as you walked in the door, you saw my desk, and I'll sit there sometimes, but I'm on my feet a lot. You'll see your desks laid out, and you'll notice that they are how many feet apart? That's right, 6 feet apart. So we're going to talk more about those specific rules a little later. You'll see in the front of the room we have a big whiteboard. That's where we'll do lots of demonstrations and where I'm going to need your eyes a lot of the time. Behind those boards are lots of fun things, learning tools, as well as games for free choice. On the right side, you will see our regular library. Those are books for you to take to your desk. We can talk about the library rules another time. On the left side of the classroom, you will see the science tables, and those have their own library. Inside the library are some of my favorite books, and I have to tell you, I do have a little bit of a preference, which means I really like science. Again, something you'll see. And we have our 3 trash cans with trash, recycling, and compost right under the sink. You guys know about that. You learned about that ever since you've been at this school. But we'll keep practicing those things. Now, for our rules in our classroom, our procedures, we're going to want to make those rules together. I think that works better than me telling you, these are the rules and you better follow them. You should come up with the rules, don't you think? And we should agree on them together. Things that make a productive, professional environment. So we can go ahead and come up with those rules. I'll ask you, we'll come up with a list. It usually is like 10 to 15 different things that you guys think of, and we'll compile that and compress that down into about 5 rules. Let me show you an example of last year's. So you'll see the rules from last year, which we were able to follow most of the time, and this year's 4th graders came up with, starts with be helpful, be kind, help others, whatever 3 and whatever 4 were, I can't remember, but I wouldn't say that to the kids. So all of those things were things that we agreed on together and we were able to do. And when those rules, do you think those rules were always followed? You're right, not always. So when that happens, I'll give you a reminder and say, hey, I want to remind you that these are the rules that we all came up with and we all agreed upon. And if it's not being followed, I just want to remind you that that's what you agreed to. So if you need to take a break until you're ready, come on back and we can try again. If that is happening a lot, then it's time for us to have a different conversation. I will give you a refocus form, and that's going to be you writing down what's keeping you from following the rules that we agreed upon. Sometimes you'll bring it to me, sometimes you'll bring it to Principal Taylor, but this doesn't mean that you are in trouble. This means it's time for a more serious conversation than a small reminder. Besides that, I'm so happy to have you guys here, and I want to open it up for you guys to ask me any questions about anything I just said, and I also want to thank you for listening so well during that time. All right? Yes, questions.